In this video, we're gonna look at the biggest trap that is keeping people stuck and that is making the law of assumption not work for you. So if you've been struggling, if you've been doubting it, if it's not working for you, or maybe it's working and then it's not working and you have those ups and downs, it's improving and you're struggling, it's getting better and then it's getting worse, you're going forward and then you're back, this kind of cycle, then this video is for you, and we're gonna break it down and we're gonna look at exactly how you can break that cycle and what you can do to really make the law of assumption work for you. But really, truly, it's working, it's always working, but how can you make it work consciously for you? That's what we're gonna break down in this video. So let's go. Now, the law of assumption is simple. What you assume to be true, you will experience, okay? You will experience in your outer reality. You will see things being reflected as a result of your state of consciousness, because your state of consciousness is always being objectified outside of you. Yeah? That is because, as they often say, your outer world is a mirror that reflects what is going on between your state of conscious mind, which is how you think, how you feel, your belief, your identity, your sense of convictions and assumptions, and all these things creates that state of consciousness, creates the way you see the world, the way you relate to yourself and to the world. Because how you see yourself is very much how you're going to be interacting with other people and with the world. All right? Now, here's the thing. We are so accustomed to experiencing life the way we've been doing it, because right now, your state of consciousness has created your present reality, your present result. The way things are in your life right now is a result of your state of consciousness that has been conditioned every day of your life, that brought you exactly where you are, not by accident, but because of who you are. Okay? And because there's so much momentum, there's so much habit, there's so much automatism and conditioning, that it's kind of difficult to become aware of so many of those patterns, so many of those beliefs, so many of those assumptions and projections that we have that keep on creating certain results in our life. The best way to become aware of where our state of consciousness is to look at our present result. You can look at that in your different area of your life, in your finance, relationship, health, job. You can look at your present result. And you can look at in which area are you satisfied, in which area are you less satisfied, in which area are you running behind or are you frustrated with, or all of them, if that applies. Because your state of consciousness will be reflected in your current results. And then you can start to back engineer a little bit. Well, hang on, how did I create this reality right now? That will give you the idea of how do I break this cycle that you've been doing. And I want to break down this cycle for you right now, because this is how most people go through life, how most people go unconsciously creating more of the same and actually struggling to use the law of assumption and the teaching of Neville and so many other amazing teachers when it comes to conscious reality creation and actually creating what you want in your life. The main challenge that we have is that they look at their current result, what is happening now, what they can see, what they can experience, what they have around them right now as the truth. So they start here at this starting point. And what this is creating is a current state of consciousness, which means that it's going to create similar thoughts, similar feelings, similar actions or decisions, and the same result, which then reinforce the state of consciousness. And that is the loop that so many people are on, that they struggle to break, because they let their current result control the way they think, feel, and the decision and actions they make, which only creates the same. So for example, if you're struggling and you're feeling unattractive, you're feeling ugly, you're feeling not good enough, you're feeling like you cannot have a special partner for whatever reason because you see yourself down. You look at the mirror, present reality, and all of a sudden you look at life through your current state of consciousness, to your current self-image, and your thoughts that comes in. I gained some weight again. Look at those wrinkles. All these kind of weird thoughts that kind of bring down who you are. And now you start to feel anxious. Now you start to feel ashamed, embarrassed, not good enough, not attractive enough, not enough. which then make you act according to how you feel. You don't go on dates. You don't approach single woman or man and try to create conscious relationship because you don't even believe it's possible. Because you think, what, maybe you're ugly, or maybe you're not attractive, maybe you're not lovable. And so the actions you take create same result, meaning you're lonely, you're alone, you're struggling, and yet you want to be in a relationship. That's one example. We can look at finances. People looking at their current present situation, maybe they're struggling financially, right? And they're looking at it to the present current state of consciousness, the way they identify with money, gaining money, and everything around finances. And it's going to create the same thought: everything is expensive. Inflation is rising. This is happening. It's too expensive. I don't know if I'm going to make it. It's creating the same scarcity, the same tension, the same contraction that makes them feel like, oh my God, I need to break down how much this is going to cost and this is going to cost and how I'm going to make it. And they're trying to calculate, does it just have enough? Am I going to have enough? So in their mind, they're breaking down everything they spend to make sure they have just enough. So it's really much that not enoughness, which creates the action decision, creates the same result, the same current state of consciousness is perpetuated, and they struggle to create a new result. And I hope this makes sense, because you can apply that in your own life, in your own areas, everywhere where you feel stuck, everywhere where you're not getting what you want. I want you to look at what is the true source of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. Are you acting based on what you see right now, your present, current situation? Or are you acting based on who you need to be to create the life that you want? In other words, are you acting from the feeling of the wish fulfilled, from the state of consciousness, the state of consciousness that will allow you to get the result that you seek? And here is the game changer. And this is where everything changes. When you create a new model of reality, meaning instead of looking at the world unconsciously, letting your senses, letting your external world control your result and how you feel internally, you need to take control of your inner world, because you understand that it's your inner world that is being reflected outside, and that the change doesn't happen first outside, but it happens first inside, meaning that first the work needs to be done in a state of consciousness. And this is where the change truly starts. It's when you create a new state of consciousness. Because the moment you have this new state, you embody being financially secure, or you embody being lovable, being good enough, being, worthy of love, of giving and receiving. You create a new feeling. You start to feel different. You show up with a different attitude. You see yourself in a different way, which means that you now act based on how you feel, based on how you see yourself. You have new ideas. You're making better decisions. You have new actions, which ultimately changes the way you show up in the world and will create new results, and then will reinforce the new state of consciousness and this new process going on. And this is how you consciously create using the law of assumption. But here's the thing: how do you create this new state of consciousness? It's through what Neville Goddard would say, or Joseph Murphy, or so many other teachers, by creating a mental picture. Creating the mental picture, or the thoughts, or the affirmation, or whatever works for you, whether it's journaling or writing down, is how you capture the feeling, because feeling is the secret. You know you've created a new state of consciousness when you feel differently. And so I'm going to make it very simple for you. What you need to create here is an image in your mind of you already being the person that is required for you to get the result, of you already having that result, you already doing that result, you already living that life. And if you can create that image in your mind, and you can have the thoughts, and you can have the affirmation, and you can have that thing in your mind that creates that level of consciousness, you'll know when you start to feel expansive, when you start to feel different about your finance, about whatever it is that you're working on. This is when you know you've captured a new feeling. And so that will be translated in new ideas, a hunch to do something new, to go a new place, to talk to somebody else, to do something different, which will create some momentum, some synchronicities, something coming your way. The how is not your problem. The how will be given to you, will be shown to you, will be provided to you for you to get to that result. If you can remain in that state of consciousness long enough and really embody it and really act the part, you will get what you want. That is how the law of assumption works. The struggle that most people have is that here there is something called time. And time delay is really screwing up so many people, because they do this, they create this whole state, they're feeling it real, they're maybe taking some action, and they're not getting the result. And they're like, holy shit, it's not working. What the fuck is my manifestation? And they start to doubt themselves. They start to doubt the process. They start to doubt that it's not working. They start to figure out how it's gonna come and who and what and when. And when they do that, the moment they start to doubt, they're no longer in that state. They're back here because they're looking at their present situation. I don't have it. It's not here. I don't see it. I don't taste it. Cannot have it, right? And now that state of consciousness being absorbed in the current external world is creating the old thoughts of doubts, limitations, the old feelings, the old action and decisions, and the old results. And that's why so many people are getting these ups and downs, because the moment you create a new state of consciousness, it doesn't often happen instantaneously. Sometimes it will. Sometimes it will take longer. How long it will take? Well, I'm not a fortune teller or anything. I don't know. I cannot tell you that answer. But if you remain persistent, if you remain with it, it will happen. But the more you waver back in and out and in and out and in and out, the more your result will go up and down, up and down, up and down, to reflect always your state of consciousness. Because what you feel in a moment, who you are in a moment, create the next moment. And in order for your life to realign itself, to readjust itself, to become congruent with your new state of consciousness, you need to allow time for you to really become unconsciously competent in your new state, truly identified with it, but also let life, in a way that's perfect for you, bring everything that's needed for you to have this result that will then confirm this new state of consciousness, and then create new feeling, new actions, and then fuel that new cycle into your reality. I hope this really makes sense, guys, because if you are stuck here, or if you're up and down and up and down and up and down, and if you don't get it, it's because you let your present result control how you think, feel, act, instead of fully surrendering to the new state of consciousness, feeling it real, taking those inspired action, following your intuition, doing those things that are required, and trusting that you will get what you need when it's needed. You will get it. That is the law. And then everything that can be seen as a result, use it as a confirmation for gratitude of your new state of consciousness being objectified in your reality. And that is truly how you become a conscious creator of your reality, guys. Let me know if that makes sense. If you have any question, in the comment down below. As always, like, share, subscribe, guys. If you want more of those kind of visual videos breaking down some of those concepts, let me know. I will see you next time. Be well.